Hey there, Banditos. Welcome to the Wednesday episode of the Dollar Bin Bandits. I'm Mike Farah, and today we have a wild and woolly one. It is with Dan Panosian and Jimmy Palmiotti talking about their new Marvel Knights Punisher series, which starts today, October 8th. Why wild and woolly? It's because we do talk about Punisher, but we also get into some weird tangents and a lot of entertaining sort of side conversations. Things like a conversation about boots and getting stuck in mud, conversation about what Dave Johnson stores in his beard, weird stuff like that. But you know what? It's all about Punisher, Marvel Knights. Let's get to it. Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Panosian. Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Panosian. Jimmy, Dan, how you guys doing?
Good.
Hanging in there, man. Just working too hard, right, Dan?
Yeah, working away. Gotta make the comics.
That's right. Got to make that $30 as much as we can.
We need it. How you doing, Michael?
Every little bit helps.
Oh.
I'm doing okay. As you can see, you guys are appropriately dressed for the subject Punisher, in your black
Right.
t-shirts. And I, of course, bring a pink polo shirt to the party. So,
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm trying to go I guess, anti-trend. Anyway, so yes, we are talking about Marvel Knights Punisher, which will come out, I think, the day that this is published, which is October 8th.
Yep.
The first issue. But before we get into the subject matter at hand, I'd like to know about the two collaborators. Do you guys remember when and where you first met?
I remember where we first kissed, but I don't know where we first met.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, do you remember?
Yeah, it was on the street actually. It was in New York City. It was on the street. I think we were meeting up with some mutual friends, but I had heard of Jimmy's name before because we both worked at Eternity Comics, which was also Malibu.
Yeah.
So he was inking a lot of, I think, maybe Ron Lim at the time.
I was Ron Lim and a couple other guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Making no money. I think I got $200 a book back then.
Yeah, I remember Jimmy was talking specifically about there was some band, he was dating one of these girls that was in a band or something like that, and we were possibly going to go see them in the band.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of blurry evenings in New York and Greenwich Village.
Yeah, we that's my ex was Carrie. She was in a
Yeah.
band. She's always playing around in the city, but I just went to drink in the background and yell at her while she's on stage.
Yeah. But
That's
I
why
do
we're still
remember,
together. No, I'm kidding.
I do remember he was always a little smitten with Amanda even back then.
Yeah, I mean, Amanda used to hang out with us, and
Yeah.
she was married, so kind of like hands off for a while there.
Yeah,
But everybody was smitten with Amanda a little bit.
that's
All the
true.
women in all those women in comics, there were so many of them.
Yeah, there were so many, like four.
Yeah, and,
Well, a
and
lot
she
more
was
now, which is
No,
good.
it's
yeah, a
great
lot more
now.
now. Amanda was always one of the boys too. She always wanted to do whatever we were doing. Like she wasn't a very girly girl, She kind of like wanted if we were going to see Star Wars, she'd be that Star Wars, and she loves the Terminator. She loves Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like she's more like her tastes are more like a guy's taste.
Yeah.
Except she tastes nothing like a guy. Anyway.
Very, very
All right,
true.
we'll move on. Marvel
Sure.
Knights Punisher, right? It's set in the world of Joe Quesada and Christopher Priest's Marvel Knights, the world to come. How did you guys become involved in the project, and what excited you about this particular world and timeline to bring the Punisher back into?
Oh, well, I mean, they this is about, revisiting something we did 25 years ago. And I remember I flew into New York and I was supposed to write the main book with Joe. And then by the time I landed in New York, it was Christopher Priest. So um, I guess it was decided that I would be doing the Punisher book. And, you know, um, while I was on the flight. And then it just I don't know how I got lucky with Dan. I really don't know that part. I mean, I probably, would have loved to have him, but I didn't think that would be possible. But I think they made him an offer he couldn't refuse money wise.
I think it was more like Punisher and Jimmy Palmiotti. I think that was the clincher for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote this thing with in mind that Dan was drawing it. So there's like nothing in this book would work with any other artist. This was written for Dan specifically. And I think that's what the big draw of the book is, and I think that's why it looks so good. I kind of know Dan pretty well, and I know what he likes to draw, and it definitely isn't a lot of people sitting around an office shaking hands with each other. That's for sure.
No, no, there's very few pages of that, but it's mostly it's very brutal 4 issues.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
but it
I
was,
mean, it's just
it ties in and it doesn't tie in with Joe and Christopher's book. Like you do not have to read that book in order to enjoy this one. Although it's of course you should read it all. But if you just decided that, hey, I'm going to read The Punisher and I don't really care about the other thing, it still stands on its own. That's the way it was written.
yeah,
So and then we do a few little crazy things in there too.
yeah, we
This
have some
this
fun
this
little
book is
things.
about breaking some rules here and there, and it's us trying to do something that we haven't seen before with the character, and yet at the same time stay completely true to who Frank Castle is at the same time, because it's been a while since we had Frank back in the comics, and I think a lot of people were waiting for just this book to happen. It's kind of weird that Marvel released this and the new Punisher series like a
Yeah.
couple of weeks apart, but
You know what? I think at Marvel, there's so many wheels turning, Jimmy, and like
yeah.
we're playing, you and I are playing like checkers, and they're playing like, 4-dimensional chess. And I'm sure that there's a big plan there. What do you
I like
think?
to think that it's the other way, but okay, sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It is interesting, but if you're a Punisher fan, it's a great time to be a Punisher fan with
Yeah.
all the new material.
Yeah, I mean it is like it is the one of the first comics I worked on when I started in Marvel in like 91. So I have a lot of Punisher under my belt as far as inking it, and then I wrote a bunch of series later on, and then working Marvel Knights. But it's a character I can relate to. It's he's a real simple guy to understand, and I think that's the appeal of the character at the same time. He's complicated in his own way, but he definitely is a guy you can read his face. You know when he's pissed off, and that's what I like about him. Beautiful.
Have you guys worked
It is.
directly before this, or is this kind of your first really like substantial collaboration?
I think we shared books. I mean, I remember in the past we inked like some X-Men annual or something together, but I've never written anything for Dan, and he's done
Nothing so
covers
intimate.
though. He's done a ton of covers for books I've worked on though, like a ton of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But this is the first time storytelling wise. I mean, honestly, if we were gonna do a part two of this book, it would probably be both of us writing it, because I think that's where we'd be.
Well, that's very
Um,
kind. I don't know.
yeah,
But
we,
Jimmy
we would
Jimmy is
both.
always that way. He's very kind about sharing those things. But
Yeah, we would both be digging in, and like if they want to do some more, we would definitely be both digging in, and then I'd have him do all the work and still get paid.
be a great arrangement for Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah. As long as the royalties kept going to Jimmy, and the royalties for this book are off the hook, apparently. Marvel did a restructuring of the royalties for this book, which is kind of interesting. Normally, a book will have to sell, I think, around 60,000 copies before you get royalties, and the percentages are kind of low. In this case, it only had to sell 5,000 copies, and we're getting like, what is it, 50% of the book sales, Jimmy? Is that
I
it?
think you're getting it mixed up with something because that doesn't sound
No, that's not the
anything like
deal
the
at all.
deal we have. We,
No,
we have no idea what it's sold. We just know that when it comes out next week, it's going to sell out real quick.
that's true. It probably will
For
sell
sure.
out, though.
Yeah, but as
Hoping.
far as far as royalties, if we make any royalties, we're going to take all that money and I'm going to go to Los Angeles and we're going to take the subway downtown. Have a great time downtown.
Yeah. Meet up with Dave Johnson.
Yeah,
Dave
meet up with
Johnson's kind of a subway vigilante these days. His studio's
yeah.
downtown.
like avoid the feces on the street, hopscotch all the way to
Yeah,
like a dinner. You know, it'll be a great time.
yeah,
It sounds like a Punisher story in the making,
yeah,
actually.
it could be.
Dan, have you worked extensively or at all on the Punisher before?
Yeah, I've done some Punisher annuals. I've done um here and there. I mean, I'm trying to pick out some. I know I remember turning down a very interesting Punisher project with Mike McCone. I got the pencils in and I looked at the pencils and I was like, I may never recover from the amount of detail Mike was putting in. That was the only job I've ever turned down in my entire career. But no, I did a lot. I think in the early 90s, I was working on it here and there because there was our editor, Don Daly. He was the Punisher editor at the time, and he was competing with the X-Men editor. So he was always making deals. He'd be like, "Come over here. I got." It was always some kind of clandestine operation to kind of woo talent back and forth between the Punisher office and the X-Men office. It was interesting times back then.
Yeah, Dan was Dan. He was known to have the most inventory stories ever made for a title. I think he had. I think Don Daly had like 100 Punisher books done that probably have never seen print. When he
Probably.
left the office, they found drawers and drawers of Punisher stories that never got published.
That's crazy. Fun guy though. A lot of fun.
Yeah, he's great. He used to park his car by my house when he went overseas because I had no alternate street parking right on my block. And he used
Nice.
to park my car and give me stuff to watch his car.
But you're like a valet.
I was, except I never watched the car. I just would be like, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody was living in it, I could care less.
As
Uh,
long as
you
they
know,
exited in
but he was a
time.
good editor because he left you alone. That's what I think I liked Don just for that, you know.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So for both of you, how having both worked on Punisher to some extent before this, how different is this project and what makes it different in sort of your experience of Punisher as a character and the story?
It's not like you know, because I in the past I worked with Garth and Steve Dillon, you know, on Welcome Back Frank and a couple of those series. And then in the I used to work with Chuck Dixon and those guys. This is a little more brutal. I want to say it's a little more diesel and its violence and it's hyped up and you know Dan brought a really textured, really beautiful EC quality to his work, you know. It does not look like any other comic book out there. Like when you see the book, it's very layered and it's very graphic. And we were joking earlier that it would be look great in black and white, and it really would. But the only thing is Dan is coloring it, so it actually looks really good in color too. Um,
Thanks, Jimmy.
but it's a more brutal. It's a little bit more brutal book. It's we get to see the Punisher at his lowest in some respect, and manipulated and doing things and then striking back. But it's we get into his head a little bit, and then pieces of it go flying off. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a little crazy. Um, we just figured we only have 4 issues, so we better do everything we want. And then if you know if nobody buys it, then at least we got it out of our system a little bit.
By the way, Michael, there were so many Easter eggs in that monologue of Jimmy's, you have no idea. Like everything he said was a little play on words, but everything he's talking about actually is happening. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Good tease.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a great tease, Jimmy.
I'm a tease.
Uh, so it's interesting. You've used the word a number of times, brutal, right?
Yeah.
And Punisher, in and of himself, and throughout the years, has been very, and his stories have been described as brutal. So, and also, I saw in the solicits something. You know, they always hype things up. They say the most unforgiving Punisher story ever. Um,
Yes.
so can you, without, of course, giving it away and maybe using a little bit of that wordplay again,
Okay.
how does this take it from an already pretty high level of brutality and starkness and depravity, maybe,
Yeah, well,
to even the next level?
if you
Before
see,
Jimmy even starts, I have to say one thing. Ours should have got that red band treatment because they've already had us edit little parts out because it
Yeah.
was so brutal.
Yeah, it's funny because we wrote it and drew it as if, there was going to be nobody policing us, and then the police kicked down the door and they started changing a little couple of things here and there. That all said, the character goes through an arc that has everything to do what he went through when Frank first became the Punisher. It's almost
It's a good
it's
mirror.
like it's thrown back at him a little bit, and he's in a different place and he has to deal with it. He's in a fragile place, and he's also can't deal. He's having trouble dealing with what's happening a little bit. This is like Punisher at his toughest and at his most vulnerable, and we get to see how there's a thin red line with what he's doing. It's a house of cards. If something goes sideways with him, it's not. It's everything is not like he's a survivalist, but he's taken down. This is an enemy that gets to the root of who he is, and he has to deal, and he does something that he has to process a little bit, and it's not easy for him to process because his motivation has always been revenge, and then he does something that's just as deplorable in a way, and he has to deal with the fact that he did that himself.
Michael, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you cried? Got emotional?
Good question. It was
Yeah.
probably at a movie.
This time it
What
might be
movie
reading
was
a
it?
comic.
I'm trying to think what movie it would have been.
This will be the first time you cry while reading a Punisher series. And it might be page 6, it might be page 12, but you will cry, Michael. You will cry.
We're gonna make
Why
sure to
isn't
come
that
over
in
there.
the solicits? The first Punisher story that'll make you cry.
Dan told
Yeah,
me,
that should be the log line or something.
Dan told me when we started, say, look, I love stories where people just tearjerk. What is it like the Hallmark movies that he loves so much?
I'm a big Lifetime movie guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually while I'm drawing Punisher, I'm subscribed to the channel, so I just have it just going nonstop. Sometimes two different monitors with two different stories. Like one headphone has the audio for one and the other for the other, but I'm taking it all in and then putting it right into the Punisher pages.
Yeah. Dan described it to me as that kid that asked for that thing on Christmas and then he gets it that morning, that feeling.
Yeah.
But with the Punisher, bullets and death.
Yeah.
I
Lots
think,
of blood spray,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
black eyes. There's
But like
brass knuckles in this.
that kind of joyous thing, but with like actual body parts flying through the air. It's that Christmas miracle, and at the same time, it's a wave of blood, like a
Yeah. There's
tsunami of
also
blood.
drowning. Like one of the pages I'm working on right now, the Punisher's drowning. There's a lot of suffering on the Punisher's behalf, and
There's not a
suffering
lot
for
of body
others.
fat on him, right? So you know this, Dan, because Dan's 95% muscle. I think 5% body fat is on the soles of his feet, and Dan just sinks when you throw him in the water.
Yeah,
Goes straight down.
exactly. Thank God for floaties.
Yeah, so Punisher, there's a scene where Punisher, he has to deal with the fact that he's not a terribly great swimmer.
He never has been.
No.
He's not a SEAL team member. He'd be more like a Green Beret.
Yeah, he's just Punisher in the water has never been a big thing.
He doesn't like. He's like a cat. That's the best way to describe him. He doesn't like to get wet.
I think Frank Thierry took him into space once, but
Yeah,
it makes sense with Frank's background in NASA, so it makes sense that he wrote that.
100%.
Yeah,
that's exactly. No, what I like about Frank is I like superheroes. I love. I kind of got into superheroes with the X-Men, but I really like the superheroes that don't have superpowers, like a Batman or even like Elektra or Punisher. Those I think they're the most relatable. They're the most gritty, and I prefer the Punisher is not up against someone with superpowers. It kind of takes you out of the genre for me. So I think that's why the Netflix television show is so successful. Also, he's not fighting Iron Man, or there's no ray guns involved.
Yeah, I was going to ask Dan about your sort of vision for this version of Frank Castle and Punisher's world, but it sounds very much like, street level,
Yeah,
no nonsense, real world kind of stuff.
yeah. I just like that kind of visceral feel to it. And I think when I started really getting into it, it was I think it was pre Jim Lee and Carl Potts. I don't remember who was writing those series for War Journal, but also I liked when Mike that first limited series with Mike Zeck, and that was God, who's that great writer? Is it Stephen Grant writing that,
Yeah,
Jimmy?
Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen's an amazing writer, and that was just brutal. My favorite part was the part while he's in prison. It just I mean it was incredible. It's like a great prison flick. So I was trying to kind of capture that. And also those were some of the first sample pages I used to get into Marvel and DC. Mike Zeck gave me the entire first issue pencils of that, and I light boxed and inked a handful of those pages. And
You still have them?
I still have the Xeroxes that Mike gave me.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
those should have been like by today's standards, you would just print those. I mean, that
Right.
they were perfection. Obviously, John Beatty is killing it on that because they're such a harmonious team, like a John
Yeah.
Byrne and Terry Austin, um, or a Jimmy and Joe Quesada.
I know those
Sometimes
guys.
Jimmy and Joe were a little bit more than just a artist, inker, writer, penciler.
That's right. What were we then? What were we more than
In my
that?
world, the way
Gonna
I
say we're
fan
gonna
it,
break some news here.
well, I mean, we have to go back to all the Lifetime movies I'm watching. So I'm fabricating things in my
It's
head
true.
and
It's true that that dog.
reimagining.
They did
Little.
find the dog in the end. So I know you had one on the other night that the dog didn't come home, and
Yeah.
it did come home, and it had a diamond necklace on its neck, so they were able to save the local church.
A lot of
It was a
times,
good ending.
Wonderful. Can
yeah.
can we expect the same for, Punisher number 4?
I will say, by the time we get to the last issue, there will be drinks.
Yeah.
There will be drinks served, and people are gonna it's gonna be jaw dropping. I will say the
Yeah.
last issue will be jaw dropping. I think for the audience.
Yeah.
And
So,
but we kind of we ended the story, but we also left ourselves a little door to do more. We're hoping they ask us to you know to kind of pick up the and do another series.
jump
That's what
back
you
in.
always want. You always want to be asked back for more, so then we can ask for them a higher page rate.
God, the amount of money we'll be asking for.
Oh yeah,
Jeez. We'll
And
be
now
rich.
you've set it up,
Yeah.
Palmiotti, Panosian,
Yeah.
yeah.
Punisher.
Anybody with a
Forget Joe
You
P,
Quesada
can't, the
for,
3 Ps, you can't
yeah,
break them
forget
up.
the problem with Joe Quesada was his last name didn't start with the letter P. So he's out. We're in.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, P comes before Q. I used to tell Joe that all the time, but he kept putting his name first. But I said that's P and then Q.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
the
way.
wrong. Yeah.
Alphabetical order.
Yeah,
I
I mean
never
that's
cared
like
about
that's
it.
why Palmiotti comes before Panosian. It's
Yeah.
PAL and then it's PAN. It's so close.
It's so
So
close.
close. Dan almost had it. And
Yeah.
you
Now,
know,
if we go by first names, I'd be right in there.
yeah, well, absolutely. Although a lot of my friends call me Al, so I think he'd be I think he'd be in
Who's
bad
that? Paul
shape there.
Simon?
Yeah,
Is Paul
yeah,
Simon calling you
yes,
Al?
yes. Well,
Is that what's
Art
happening?
Garfunkel calls me Al all the time.
Okay.
So,
Great.
Jimmy, how did it feel to come back to the world of Marvel Knights? I mean, it's basically 25 years later, right?
Yeah, it feels nothing like the original Marvel Knights in the fact that to me, Marvel Knights was working up at Marvel and trying to get everybody else's work out the door. And a lot of my inking I did was out of necessity because other people were running behind on their work. I mean, I was doing Daredevil, but I was also inking the Punisher and also inking some other stuff. Um, it feels fun to be offered the character and to do it with Dan and have Joe and Chris doing something. Um, but it is different, right? Because Marvel Knights, when we did it, it was 4 books and it was a whole bunch of other characters. I think production wise, this book feels like a Marvel Knights book. You know, it just looks beautiful. Dan did these wraparound covers that seriously, Marvel should make wrapping paper out of them, and movie posters out of them. They're just
Nice.
beautiful. You seen any, Mike? You've seen some of the covers?
I mean, I think I've seen only the first issue,
Oh,
which is
you're in for
only, which is still amazing.
no, you're in for a treat. I mean, every one of them is beautiful. And it's just I like I said, I think production wise, these look like Marvel Knights books. But there's a lot of noise out there in comics right now. I mean, we Batman might be the number one book with 87 covers. That's a big story.
Hard to beat that. How many
Um,
covers did we get, Jimmy?
I think four.
I mean, it's almost the same amount practically.
Yeah, it's four. I mean, if you see triple,
Depends
uh,
on what the math you're using. Sure.
but oh no, it's interesting. Like I said, it doesn't feel like a full blown Marvel Knights back again, but it definitely look. If I was inking Joe and we were working with some of the original guys, it would have that feeling. I just think that I think it's just in the tradition of Marvel Knights, meaning uh, it's going to be working with the top talent in comics. So I got lucky to get Dan, and Priest got lucky to get Joe.
Yeah.
You know, um,
By the way,
yeah,
Jimmy, I can't help but notice, is that a Conan Red Nails behind you?
absolutely it is.
Oh,
It's the well,
wow.
it's not the Red Nails book.
It's
It's uh, oh,
wow.
it's this colossal
Wow.
random edition of Conan pages just slammed together.
Oh, I gotta get
There's
that.
no rhyme or reason to this book. It's just random
What-
Barry Smith pages, John Buscema. They're
Oh, I
not
gotta
even
get
in
it.
order. I don't agree with this book, but I like the art in it. I think it's kind of like a bunch of drunk people got together and said, "Well, we don't have a full Conan story, but hey, those covers are cool." And there's a splash, and there's something by John Buscema. Um,
Yeah,
but I'm a Conan fan, so that
me
right
too.
away it's going to get my money.
Oh, it's a beautiful book. Looks
You know,
amazing. I gotta pick it up. I'm
I just
jealous.
made I just made a mess over here.
Oh no.
Well,
I like how
thankfully
your
the
camera
camera is
follows you.
following you and
I
It
love
does.
that.
allowing us to see.
It's I have one of my biggest fans holding the camera right now, so he kind of
Yeah.
follows me everywhere I go. But I just
Oh,
I just got this
oh, that looks cool.
yeah, this is
Is
they're
all
doing them in
Mobius in there?
they're doing it in hardcovers, and it's a collection of some of the old stuff, there's Mobius and stuff like that, and then new stories in it. And they're big hardcovers. They're not cheap, but
Yeah,
I
that
I,
looks amazing.
I kind of I grew up on heavy metal, Mike. So
Yeah.
um, you know, that and I'm surrounded by comic books, as you can tell. So is Dan. I mean, you
Yeah.
can see in the mirror.
I
Yeah.
would
There's
be
a
if I could
mirror
ever get
behind
my
me.
basement like done and ready ready for prime time. Right now
That's
you just
cool.
got the generic dining room, but yeah, man, we're all about comics.
Is that your dining room?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, yeah, it's just a picture on a wall, but you know, it's
It's not the
interesting in
Punisher.
some way.
Doesn't look anything like the Punisher.
No, it doesn't
No,
look
I
like
know.
anything
I'm
like the
I'm so
Punisher.
sad that I am not on theme tonight. Um, speaking of which, Dan, did you have a hand in, or were you assigned to, or was it at all a part of this book that you were putting together a new Punisher logo or insignia?
Well, that one was, part of the giveaway or the takeaway on this is that this Punisher story takes place a little bit in the future. So Punisher is a little bit older. So he's got a new costume, and it's kind of a more of a high tech, just in the same way that like the military has camouflage, and now they use kind of it's almost like an 8-bit form of camouflage. I don't know if you've seen that,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah,
this is kind of a take on that 8-bit sort of camouflage.
like pixelated.
It's a pixelated version of, and I just thought, how can I do the Punisher insignia, but update it a little. It had nothing to do whatsoever with Marvel changing directions with the Punisher skull. Although we do have a little treat for everyone because Jimmy and I are also huge fans of the original Punisher. So if whether you hate any of the new designs or you don't, you're definitely going to be thrilled with this series in that sense.
Yeah, I think Dan took it. He owned the character.
Yeah, maybe I took it too
By
far.
doing that first cover, he's like, "This is my Punisher. This is not your grandmother's Punisher."
No,
And
no. My
I'd
grandmother
like to see
saw
your
Red.
grandmother's Punisher,
She loved
incidentally.
Punisher, and I was like, not anymore. It's my turn. She's dead. She's not going to say anything. Both my parents are dead. There's no connection anymore
Yeah.
whatsoever.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad we can modernize what has been, very old Punisher. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Grandma's
It's great
Punisher.
that it's something at least, visually that gives you a flavor for where and when sort of the story takes place. That it's not
Yeah,
exactly
I mean, it's not.
the here and
What's
now.
interesting is it's not like there's no laser guns. It's not like Star Trek. It's
no,
it's
Right.
it's very much just like a little bit of the future. Technology hasn't really changed at all. It's just Punisher is older now. It's not even quite old man Logan. It's an older, more seasoned, grizzled Punisher.
yeah,
And
and
maybe
then
because he can slim fast.
and we have the first issue does something that you haven't seen in a Punisher comic ever. I don't. We're not going to ruin it, but
No.
and Dan and I had a lot in common because all of our parents are dead.
Yeah.
And
We talk about that often.
As Dan just threw out there randomly that
Yeah.
his parents are dead.
It
All of
comes
our
up in every
parents are dead.
conversation we have. Sometimes we'll just say, let's
Yeah,
get this out of the way. And
because
I'm
then
when
we'll
your
just,
surprised we
parents are
didn't start
alive,
with that.
your
yeah,
parents are alive, you have to watch what you do because they're going to read it, right?
yeah,
So Dan and I have the advantage that we don't have any parents that are going to read our work, so we can dig right in and go
yeah,
wild.
No
yeah,
holds barred.
It's like when your
exactly.
parents went away for the summer and you kind of stayed out late. It's
Yeah,
like that, but with dead parents, as Dan had
yeah.
described.
My dad's actually in the office with us right now. His urn is behind that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's over there. I keep him there.
Okay.
So he gets to listen. My dad hated it. He's a very strict guy. He hated any sort of cursing or nudity and anything R-rated. He wasn't a fan of unless it was Charles Bronson or Clint Eastwood. So I make sure to keep HBO on or whatever streaming service so he can hear all the stuff he didn't want to
Was it
hear
your
when he
father's
was
choice to be
younger.
cremated, or is something you guys decided?
Man, we can get into it. But the family was so cheap. First of all, there's no funeral for him whatsoever at
Right.
all. And then the ash, they decided, well, how can we make this even cheaper? We'll cremate him. And then at one point, a couple months after he's dead, my mother called up. She goes, the funeral parlor, the crematorium keeps calling, and they got the ashes there. I don't want them. What are we going to do? So I was the one who had to pick them up. He
So you
wasn't the
have him.
best son.
You have him on
What?
your shelf. You have him on your
He's
shelf.
on this shelf behind all this artwork. It's been part
Okay.
of the library. So
Yeah.
he loved comics.
I had my dad's flag, because he was in the military. So
Yeah,
they give
my
you a
dad too.
flag. They give you a flag when you get. But my dad got buried out in Long Island.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
I'll bring my dad over to see your dad
Yeah.
sometime.
You could just pour him on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it would have been good if we used some of his ashes in the ink for the
It's like a
comic.
Stan Lee move.
Yeah, yeah, or wasn't it Kiss that did it first with Gene Simmons or somebody's blood, right?
Yeah,
It was
no.
the editor, Mark Grunwald, right?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
was it in the pun was it in
Oh no,
Kiss?
they ran some of the press, so some of the ink for the comics were for Mark's was from maybe Mark's ashes. I don't remember how they did. I don't think
Yeah,
they
wasn't
kept the
it blood?
vial as
Wasn't it the
blood.
red blood in the ink, right?
Well, there's some pens that they used,
Yeah.
so Stan while he was alive would sign with his own blood, which is insane.
I don't know if Stan Lee was buried or like was he like cremated or buried?
Well, I mean, we just saw him last week at the LA
You saw his
Comic Con.
I was gonna
hologram?
say, wasn't he just
That would
in
be
the
my first
hologram?
question I would ask the hologram. I'd be like, "Hey Stan, were you cremated or were you buried?" Well, let
Yeah,
me tell you, Jimmy. I would just figure he'd come out and make up something else.
yeah,
He was putting it in like Thanos's glove,
yeah.
like he was the inside, like the bunny fur of the inside of the glove.
Oh
Oh, that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's our next story, Michael, by the way. It's another Easter egg.
Oh wow. I
Yeah.
can't believe you're giving away all these secrets.
I know Marvel's going to be very upset with this podcast. I hope they never get a hold of it because we have, between the royalty statements and the Stanley's blood mixed into bunny rabbit hair and Galactus's gauntlet, we're really giving away a lot,
I,
Jimmy.
I think Stan wouldn't have minded if
No.
his blood was used in the. I don't think like it. I could picture having that conversation with him where he'd be like, I don't care what they do with me, but he might not. I don't know about the hologram though. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess, can you dance with the hologram? Can you say, hey, put on some music and dance? Like
I didn't actually see it. My wife and son went and saw it and interacted with it.
did they pay?
No, they don't believe they paid.
Okay.
I think it was 25 bucks a head though.
Yeah. And he tells you stuff, right? You ask him questions and he
Yeah, you could talk to him, and I don't know if all of it was on point. Like, people are asking it like ChatGPT problems. They're like, if I move my money into this S&P 500 or
right.
money, it's like, Stan knows comics. He doesn't necessarily going to answer all your like retirement
No.
plans.
I
But,
used to I used to host his panels, Mike. I don't know if you know that. I hosted like I'd say a dozen pretty big panels with him. And I learned all the answers to every question people asked him, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Um, because people would ask him the same 10 questions every time, like, why is the Hulk, green and all this where did the Silver Surfer
gamma
come from?
radiation.
What's that?
Gamma starts with G.
He actually said that the printer couldn't get a consistent gray in the
Oh,
comic for the first couple of issues. It was like a warm gray and a cool gray. So they finally just said, let's just make it green. And that's how Hulk became green.
oh wow.
Yeah.
There
How
we
about
go.
that?
I can actually do the voice for that hologram if they want, because I know all the answers to everything. What was that thing?
That's
Is that your dad's ashes?
there's an elaborate security system here. So every time a door opens or closes, that alarm goes off, and it just keeps me
Oh,
safe.
I thought your dad's urn sprouted legs and he was trying to escape.
If my dad's urn could sprout, he'd be like trying to choke me. Yeah, almost daily. I still have dreams where we're arguing and getting into fist fights, and um yeah, he's still around. Maybe I should remove him from the office. That might help.
Yeah, I don't know. Put him next to the bed.
Yeah, oh yeah, my wife would love that. That'd be great.
I feel weird asking a question about Punisher now, but I
No, go
will.
ahead.
Um,
This is
because we're so far down the rabbit hole here, but
Yeah.
um, so I wanted to talk about process,
okay.
collaboration.
Mhm.
Since you guys, this is probably your most direct collaboration, maybe your first most direct collaboration. What was it like? What was sort of the rapport? How did you work together? Was it any different than how you work with other writers or artists?
For me, it was I write it, Dan drew it, and then I'd rewrite it to match what he drew. So it was a pretty easy process.
Yeah. I haven't worked with too many writers in the last 10 years or so, because I've been writing all my own material for the most part. But I did do a mini series with Scott Snyder, and that was just all plot based. So he just give me a paragraph per page
Yeah, I'm a
and
lot better than Scott. I mean, let's be honest. You
I
know
mean,
that.
you give me so many more words to work with. You
Yes,
know,
Scott uses the same 5 words over and
he kept
over.
on saying it was a lot of like zombie, cowboy hat. This is for a Western. And I was like, all right, it's a horror Western. I'm like, I guess I can make that work. And he
This
made
is
it
an
work.
it was an easy collaboration because whatever I wrote, Dan took it further, right? So as crazy as I did it, Dan went in and made it wilder. And that was the look, that's the good news. I can appear brilliant if I have a great artist. And if I have a terrible artist, it I might as well not put my name on it. Because look, even Alan Moore, if you have a terrible artist writing drawing an Alan Moore story and it looks terrible, you're not going to read it. So
No, that's a sad thing too, Jimmy. Some of those Alan Moore projects where the artists weren't so hot, you're like, maybe that's more brilliant than anything else he's written, but you kind of shy away from it a little bit, or at least I
yeah,
do.
I'm a person. I open the comic. I don't buy it for the cover. I open it, and if it looks terrible, I just don't read it. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
I work hard for that $5, and God knows that's all we make per page.
Yeah.
So I'm really picky about what the book, and this book looks beautiful. I mean, so much so, Dan colored it himself. And when's the last time you had somebody pencil, ink, and color a book? It's been a
For
while.
Marvel. Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
happen too
especially at
often.
Marvel. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure Marvel has some guys that do that. I don't know any offhand, but
No,
um, I know Paul Azuceto's. I mean, you see more, image books and creator-owned books done that way. Like there's a
yeah.
beautiful book by Remender and Excuse me, I'm getting verklempt
But
just
he
talking
Paul
about the
doesn't
dog.
color it though.
No, Paul colored it. Paul's a
Oh,
great
he did?
colorist. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Dan, he's
So
supposed to
David
lie.
Aja.
I was trying to hype you up, and you just like
Yeah, but at Marvel, you don't see too many artists coloring their own work. So it was kind of special that I got to do that.
I think Dan appreciates the extra money,
Yeah,
and he'll get better royalty if we
yeah.
ever hit the royalty number.
And I'll just lord it over my friends, which is that's actually what I live for, if I'm being transparent about everything.
Yeah, just to show everybody you're richer than them.
Yeah, I'll go to the convention. When this video comes out, I'll be at the New York Comic Con and I'll be hopefully signing a lot of these, but I'll also have a lot of the checks on hand. And then like another artist will come, oh, hey Dan, how's it going? I'll go, pretty good. And then I'll show them like a check and I go, oh wow,
I
it's
have a
usually,
check up here. I keep
yeah,
from
you never cash.
DreamWorks TV. Film.
Yeah,
It's for 5 cents, but it's there. I mean, there it
they're
is. I
available.
have it on my wall, just
Yeah,
to remind me, to humble me.
yeah, 5 cents.
Yeah,
You
five
should
cents.
bring
Plus,
one
if
of
you
those
need
like
it one day,
oversized,
Well,
novelty
there
checks.
used to be a magazine called Spy Magazine. Do you remember in the
Yeah, I
80s
do.
and 90s? So Spy Magazine had this thing where it would send like $105 checks to millionaire celebrities to see who would cash them. And then every month they would print the check with the signature of the actor on the back. And it was really funny because it would be like people like Stallone and whatever. And they would cash this $5 check and they would print it every month. It was
uh,
I love that. I thought it
I
was
love
great.
that story
Great.
about was it Picasso, where he would go to a
Oh yeah.
restaurant and he'd write a check to the restaurant, knowing full well they'd never catch it because they'd want to hold on to the Picasso signature.
I think
The kind of
we know people that Dave Johnson does that, right?
Dave Johnson's great at that.
He
Yeah,
says, you can either take my money or
mhm.
I can do a drawing of you're in a demon on the back of this piece of paper,
Yeah,
and we can call it even with the roast beef sandwich he ate.
yeah.
It
Looks like a charm every time.
yeah.
Dave's well fed. Let's put it that
Dave
way.
is well fed. It's
Yeah,
funny because people get wider, he gets taller
yeah. He's a
as he
giant.
eats. Like he's a guy that we eat. The more he eats, the taller he gets,
Yeah,
and more beard. There's some more
the
like
beard is gorgeous. You don't
he's
look like you're a big beard fan, Michael, but if you saw Dave's beard in person, there's a
yeah.
difference in having him on Dollar Bin Bandits.
It
If
has
you
a
had like a
beautiful
one-on-one with Dave Johnson and you
yeah.
could reach out and just kind of,
Stroke
It
it.
has a beautiful blend with his chest hair. So it kind of goes like there's no neck anymore. He just goes right
Hmm.
from like chin to chest hair.
It's a bridge beard.
Yeah, to
yeah,
like whatever's sticking out of his shorts in the summer. It's kind of
yeah,
like one big wave of white hair that
yeah.
it's really sexy.
Softer than you like. I know you're thinking right now the way these guys are talking about this party is soft. It's softer than you can even imagine.
Yeah, it's like a bird nest soft, like
Yeah.
like a bird nest or a hamster
Like kind of
nest.
climb in and
Yeah.
just nuzzle up there.
He keeps his inking tools in there,
Yeah,
as well as a small pistol.
yeah,
But that's Dave Johnson. I mean, he lives in a tough
Yeah.
neighborhood. So he has to like he kind of pulls things out of his beard. It's like a superhero thing. Like he's on a train and
I was gonna say, why has this not been written and drawn
yeah.
already?
He's like a little
yeah,
bit of Inspector Gadget,
he has
meets
yeah. Dave
ZZ Top.
we've seen him pull things out of that beard besides soup and peas and stuff like that. That's the
God, so
normal
many
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I've seen him pull something strange stuff out of it. He had a shoehorn in there once. I didn't know
yeah.
what that was about.
And it was we needed one at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's a long story, Mike, for another day.
Always be prepared. He must
Yeah,
have
I
been a
mean,
Boy Scout.
yeah, that's
Well,
Dave Johnson.
I bet he was.
Yeah, it's good times.
Jimmy, were you ever a Boy Scout?
Uh, no, but I went to my buddy Keith Spadaro was a Boy Scout, and they had a trip, and he invited me to the trip, and we went to this place that had these like giant mud pit type things, right? And I jumped and I fell into one, and it sucked my boots off. It like
Oh,
when I had to get out of it, it kept the boots. The mud was like around 3 feet deep, and I pulled me
oh,
out, and my boots stayed in the mud. So
oh,
they're
wow.
forever. Like somebody, future generations will find that perfect boot. Um,
Jeez.
I remember that, and I remember at night they would get in a circle around the fire, but I would go to sleep. I was like, I don't want any. I would hear like strange, like wolf noises and stuff like that, like howling, people howling.
Maybe this was like that A24 film, like
Yeah.
that's like the little.
I do like Girl Scout cookies, though. I will admit, that time of year is a great year around here. We definitely buy those mint cookies. I don't know
You
if you
seem
ever
like
had
a
them,
thin
Mike.
mint guy.
That seems to be the kind of thing that you could find in Dave Johnson's beer.
I wish.
A Girl
I
Scout?
wish.
Girl Scout
Yeah.
cookies.
It's a
I
Girl
was gonna
Scout
say
made
all
beer.
the flavors.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
flavors.
Yeah, a Samoan, a
That's my
shortbread.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you
All
a Boy
right.
Scout, Dan?
No, I was
Okay,
I wanted to get in because of the Pinewood Derby. I really wanted to make one of those little
right.
cars.
Yeah.
I think I was a Cub Scout though, which
Yeah.
is
Oh,
not
okay.
quite a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
My
How about
dad would
brownies?
my dad was not too like there's a lot of things you have to recite, like these oaths and pledges.
Right.
And I don't want to turn this into like a therapy session for me with me and my father. But then he would take the things I was like trying to recite and remember, and then he would kind of bastardize those things into his own poems and just kind of mock me about them. So eventually I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I
What
mean,
was your dad's first name?
Edward.
Ed. Do you
Ed.
ever call him Ed, or you just called him Edward?
No, that no, you would never do that. That'd be bad.
You just call him Dad?
Yeah, I'd call him Dad.
You ever call him Pops?
Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps he didn't like
I-
that because it sounded like a female hygienal
Right.
instrument.
Michael,
The
what's your father's name, Michael?
Ron, and he's still alive.
oh
He's still
God,
alive. So Ron,
don't let him watch
you don't
this.
call him Ron, right? You call him Dad.
Yeah, I call him Dad.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
my son and I have a great relationship, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And you're sure he's your son, right? You're definitely
He lives here.
okay.
So
Did he come with the house?
came with now. My wife brought him in. She goes, look what I got at Amazon today. Look what Amazon delivered. Forget the
Oh,
store.
no. You look, you see that, you see Dan's kid, you can tell it came from Dan.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same, those two.
He's
Except
actually
he's a lot smarter than Dan.
He's a lot smarter. He's really strong. He's got muscles.
Yeah.
He's great at jujitsu. He's won like medals, and he's only 11. So by the time he's like 15, he'll have me in a headlock, getting whatever he wants.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get him ready to lift those royalty checks.
Yeah, well, that's not heavy lifting. I mean, it's you can put him in rolls of quarters, I guess, and get somewhere.
Yeah. Well, he rolls the quarters up in his fists. It's kind of like with Hard Times with Bronson.
You know, Mike, you learn over time. If we did comics for money, it would not. It's not. You don't make comic books for money. You make it because you love doing comics. That's you. I'm sure you've interviewed enough people to know that, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the themes of the of the interviews is you do it for the passion of the art form, not for the financial gain.
Speaking of
Although
money, yeah,
being able to live is
my
nice.
son. My
I
son
think
was
BOGOs were created for comic artists, basically, and writers. Like in supermarket BOGOs, that's made for comic people. I
yeah.
feel like they have, you can only have so much money. And I go into Publix here in Florida, and I just BOGO shop. I'm like, it's 2 for 1. I don't want it, but I get an extra one. I have no desire to eat whatever I'm buying, but I got 2 for the price of 1, so I'm in.
My son today told me, he goes, Dad, did you know $1 here is worth $25 in Guatemala? He's 11 years old. He goes, we would be rich in Guatemala, Dad. And I was like, maybe we should move.
Yeah. Do they take Americans at this point? Because there's not many places do.
Yeah, I could get iced and sent over there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but you have to beat from there.
Yeah.
It's
a chat GPT problem.
Although I think I would like to do a Punisher versus Ice comic. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we would do that.
Yeah. I don't know if Marvel would be down for it or anybody.
Probably not. But we'd probably be fired.
Dividing the audience. That's also a thing. Like, there's so much polarization, in all of this country. And of course, in comics too, there's, hardcore Democrats, hardcore Republicans. Jimmy and I are neither of those things.
No.
We're, I don't know. I guess I don't even know what the word liberal means anymore, because that's a bad word too, but just somewhere in the middle. And that's what's great about this comic book, I think, is that it's a nice escape, I think. From,
it's going to make everybody happy. There's a lot of heavy expectations. I was just at a show in Utah, and people were talking to me, and they expect a lot from this comic, and
That's good.
I'm like, well, okay, and thank God I left Utah because I don't have to deal with it when it comes out. Um, but there's like a lot of high expectations for this book. Have you had that, Dan, where people are like expecting?
I have. I mean, there's been a lot of. I mean, the biggest issue has been the skull emblem, but I think
Right.
I really think anyone who's a Punisher fan, and I wouldn't say this lightly, like because I'm first and foremost, just like Jimmy, a fan of comics, and this is probably the first comic book I've worked on where I'm like, if you like the Punisher, you're gonna love this comic book. It's if I was not a part of it, I'd be really happy with the way this is told and the action and the draw, all of it. It's just I don't think you're gonna have too many people that are disappointed by this thing.
Yeah. We hope not.
No,
And if they are, I just turn off the computer. And
I don't. I sit there and stew. That's what I do,
do
and then
you?
I take it out on my wife.
Dan likes to get upset at the internet. He lets it get to him
I
a
really
little
do.
bit.
I use it. I remember in Blade, was it Blade 4 when he's like, use it.
Was there a
I just
Blade
want
4 or was there 3?
maybe it was 3. I don't know. It's Ryan Reynolds was in this one with
That's the
Jessica
third
Biel.
one, right, Michael?
Yeah, the third one. Yeah.
Okay. It was that
Because
one,
there's
and
a
that was my
famous line
takeaway.
from that third movie.
Yeah. My
But
takeaway was
I
use
can't
that
say it.
pain.
I can't say it on your show because it's probably like all ages, right?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Just because
Okay.
we haven't cursed yet doesn't mean we
You can
can't.
always beep it out if it's too much.
Yeah.
But at one point, somebody yells "cock juggling thunder cunt," and I thought, well, that's a combination you don't hear very often. You know,
That had to be Ryan Reynolds.
I hope, I think so.
It seems like something
It
That
wasn't
was the first
Wesley
say.
time.
Snipes.
That was the first time I saw him recognize a friend of mine made a movie with him called Waiting. And
Oh yeah, about rubbing hamburgers on their crotches.
yeah.
Yeah,
And but that was the first time I saw him really kind of, stealing a little bit of the spotlight there for a little bit.
yeah.
He made that movie a lot of fun.
I enjoyed Blade 3. I actually,
Yeah.
I thought, it had Parker Posey and it had a lot of weird stuff going on in that
And
movie.
Jessica Biel was in that. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jessica Biel looked amazing, and I actually did the little DVD comic. Like when you bought the first, I don't know, 200,000 Blade threes, there was a comic book that I think Amanda and I worked on, and Justin and I wrote it, and
wow.
we got like triple rate for it, and once in a while I sign it. Um, that was good. That was Rob Saboni that gave me that job, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did one of the most unusual jobs, and I occasionally will get someone at a convention to bring it to me. Is
Can
I
I
did
legitimately guess, or you have to? You're
no,
gonna
no, go ahead. Go for it.
like something you did that nobody knows about? I know you dated Jennifer Tilly, right? When you were like years ago.
I broke up with her. It was the dumbest thing I ever did.
Yeah, she beat you at cards all the time, I think.
Yeah, and I was pissed
No,
at her. I'm like, enough.
tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
I did it, I think 3 or 4 Chick-fil-A comic books.
No way.
And yeah, and Skechers. I did a lot of Skechers comics.
Oh,
Yeah. What I've
I did
never
it.
had, and I'm always kind of waiting for
Where
is
are they? Do you have them? Do you have them like to show us?
And when's the
no, I don't.
crossover?
No, that's the next crossover. But I also did all
Chick-fil-A
the
X,
yeah, there was tons
sketches.
of Burger King toys. I was the designer for those for I got out
Hmm.
of comics for a little while, and for a few years I just designed, whatever merchandising
Do you
toy because
have
they
them?
whatever movie they were, yeah, whatever
Do you
movie
have
they were.
any of them? Or
Yeah,
no?
I got a whole boxes and boxes of those toys.
Oh, okay.
What was
The
interesting about
weirdest
that
thing I
is
ever did is I wrote two video shorts for LeBron James and Vince Carter for Nike.
wow,
Yeah, so I wrote their
you win
script.
because I work for Skechers and Nike's a little bit more popular.
Yeah, well, it paid well. I remember when I went to try out for the ad, like they would interview writers, and
Uh-huh.
Brian K. Vaughan was one of the writers in the room.
Very athletic man.
Yeah,
For
So
Nike?
yeah, for
yeah.
Nike. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
People don't know this because they go, "What a great writer!" He can't dunk. He can dunk a ball.
Who's that? Brian?
Brian
Brian,
K. Vaughan?
Brian,
Brian. Yeah, I've seen Brian do things with balls. Yeah, he's amazing. He's
yeah.
amazing.
He can work in a circus juggling if you give him a basketball.
I realize how that sounded.
That's horrible.
What I
I've
was
seen him do
saying,
things
and
with
I am
balls.
so sorry, Brian. I'm so
Brian,
it just came out like it's terrible.
yeah, that's
And
awful.
Brian's good with a basketball. That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to say. He's not good with all balls. I'm sure
No.
there's some balls that like
Ballpoint pen, great at
oh
signing his
right,
name to,
oh right.
you know.
Know how many bleeding cool headlines are going to come out of this podcast?
Zero because nothing is really if Rich
A lot of
Johnson
hearsay.
was
Yeah.
listening, we would talk about Rich, but he's not here. He's not.
All right, let's bring it back and bring
Okay.
it home
We never left.
with a
Yeah.
couple more questions. One
Okay.
is, I would say, what do you hope readers take away from this Punisher story, besides the, appetite to read and do more of them?
I think I want them to forget about life and dig into the comic and get fully immersed in what we did. That's always our goal with comics is to take people away from their life and give them that moment of I'm hoping there's a lot of payoff moments, sort of like, um Shawshank, where there's like three or four endings in it. I hope there's a lot of that for people. I hope they get I hope they cut up Dan's artwork and like put it on their refrigerator and the back of cop cars and stuff like that. The artwork's beautiful. Um,
Thanks, Jim.
I like if I was a kid, I would be cutting out panels because I used to like do that with my comics. I used to like a panel. I used to just cut it out of the comic and put it on my wall. I ruined a lot of good comics, sure, but I enjoyed doing that. Like I picked my favorite five panels. I think the splash page. I think Dan just showed a splash page today. I think, right?
Yeah.
You bought it online.
Yeah, it was page one from issue number 2. I
Right,
just put up.
right. And
Um,
but yeah, I'm hoping people love it. I hope they demand that Dan and I come back and do more. I hope it sells out in the first day. We really want to show people that when you put the right creators on the right characters, it makes a difference with a comic book. And
that's actually true.
we're hoping we grab an audience that says, yeah, you see, these guys get it. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
think the right creative team on the right book does kind of, if
that,
you can tell when creators actually kind of get the character and when they don't, or when they really love that character. And I think this will shine through. I mean, for
yeah,
me,
this
most of all, I want
that was
people
the
to,
formula for Marvel Knights, if we're gonna go backwards on it.
yeah,
Was the right creators on the right characters. That was the whole thing that Joe and I set out to do on those four books. We just said these are the best people to put on the best characters, and that's why the book's going to stand out on the racks next to everything else. And I think this book's going to stand out for a bunch of reasons. The initial reason is going to be how beautiful the art is, and
Jimmy.
that cover you can't ignore that on the rack. You're gonna have to at least pick it up and maybe throw it in your jacket and run out of the store.
Yeah,
And we
shoplift at
yeah,
your LC.
shoplifting. I mean, you have to beware though, because there is a Punisher. There's a thing in the book where we track people.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
there's
tracker
a,
devices.
but I really want people to just feel like we gave Frank Castle, um, our undivided attention and really listen to what the fans wanted with the character. You know.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I would say. That they got it right, and man, this is fun.
Yeah, yeah. Because when the apocalypse comes, they'll let us, Dan and I, survive. Like they'll say, "Don't kill those two. They did the Punisher series that I love. Let's put them over there, and
With
then
all
blow
the
up the
happy things, the
building."
Yeah, let
margaritas.
them onto the rocket ship or put them
Right.
into the
Yeah. And
underground.
even though in jail, they still like give us the better food,
Yeah,
and we have to do tattoos on all the bad guys, because we have skills.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Jimmy's been
Makes
great. Like
sense.
if you go to a
Lofty
convention,
goals.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have high expectations for this book, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be good. I'm hoping one day they ask us back and we can do something as thick as this thick as this
Look at
omnibus.
that. Let me see that. Hold the front up. Oh, that's cool. Who did that cover? Is that
Darwin.
Darwin?
Yeah,
Wow.
Darwin. It's 1,058 pages
Wow.
of comics. Dan,
A lot of
I know you just started writing the past couple of years, but when you have four of these, that's gonna feel really good.
That's gonna feel great.
When you have four omnibuses. What's the
I
first
get
omnibus? Is
the
gonna
first
be your
omnibus I'll have is there's an Alice Ever After
right. That's
series
gonna
I
be the
do.
first
And
one.
so there's Alice Forever After. I mean, there's Alice Ever After, Alice Never After, and it'll be what we're working on right now is the final series, and then they'll collect them all into a big omnibus. That'll be my first one.
Okay. I'm hoping Marvel takes the Dan's 4 issues and just prints, like, blows it up and does that black and white thing they
Oh, that'd be
do.
fun.
And without the lettering, just have the art,
The artist edition.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
I'm
wouldn't
very
make a
proud of
dime on
myself.
it, but I'd be happy that Dan made 30, 40 cents on
You
it.
have to write the forward, Jimmy, so you get some
I
royalties
will.
on it.
I know exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
I did nothing
Yeah.
except
No,
inspire this.
he gave me an opportunity. Like he really does. That's what Jimmy always says. No matter who he's working with, is he kind of tailor makes it for that particular artist. And I really felt that
Yeah.
way with this because honestly, I don't like working. It's not like I don't like working with artists. I'd prefer to write my own stuff, but this felt exactly in tune with what I would want to do with the Punisher, and
Yeah.
it was I mean, it was a lot of fun. And I still have one issue left to draw. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. We're waiting on the script approval, and once we have that, we'll get
Yeah.
going.
I mean, I'm serious though. If they asked us back, it would be both Dan and I writing it because I think that we just have fun and gives me an excuse to come out to California, or him an excuse to come out to Florida, and then
Yeah,
just jam on 4 issues and
fun.
the next series, because we do eventually want 1,000 pages of this character.
I think what Marvel would probably do for us is kind of what they did, what DC did to get Frank Miller back to do DK2 when
Yeah,
they got on that sweet penthouse apartment loft situation in New York. They
yeah.
would probably get me a 10,000 square foot loft living arrangement in Tampa.
Absolutely. Right down the street. And I would hope that Dan's father's urn would be proud of the book
I'd
that we
bring
made.
them.
You bring him to
I,
Tampa.
oh, I definitely would.
Okay, I'll tell you, Amanda has, like, we have had cats over the years. Mike, this is not important. We've had cats over the years, and we always get them cremated, and they give you a little box with the cat's name on it.
Yep, I'm looking at one
Amanda
right
has
now.
Amanda has all of them. Like, she's not buried them yet because she keeps talking about she wants to find the perfect place. But I have like it looks like the warehouse from the end of Indiana Jones. I have so many boxes of dead animals, and I just want to put them in the ground. And she's like, "Oh, we gotta find the right place." But honestly, it's like a warehouse, and each box is different because we had a dog, so the box is a little bigger. We had a
Yeah,
kitten that died, and it's a small box. It's like a
rattlesnake.
size of a Band-Aid box. And so we have all these different. It's like Indiana Jones at the end with the
Yeah,
long.
yeah. The
Michael, these
warehouse.
are our problems. They don't have to be your problems. These
Yeah,
are what we have to deal with.
I
yeah.
enjoy hearing about them.
Yeah,
They're unique to comic book folk, I think.
yeah.
It's just it sucks that animals have to die. If they live forever, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my hamburgers, but still, a lot of
Have you ever
animals.
had a pet cow?
You know what? They're charming cows. If you ever had a you
You
ever
know what I
spent
did?
time with a cow?
I used to live on a farm, Jimmy, and my dad
Right,
was like, you've heard a little bit about him, but he would go, the mommy cow, he'd call it, had a litter of cows. And he'd go, I want you to be able to lift up that cow. So I'd lift up the baby cow. And by the time I was 19, I was lifting up full bulls and everything. I was like, who's that Neil Adams character, Megatron Man?
right. You lifted up
So
a bull.
I would lift up a bull. You know, that was
I
our
believe
thing.
it.
Just
I,
circle it
I
on your one finger.
I've seen Dan fight. I know he can pick up bulls. He's by the horns too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would
Yeah.
you ever do that? The bull where you running into bulls? Would you ever do that?
No,
No.
God, no.
How about you, Mike?
I have
No.
no desire. I would go to that big tomato fight that I think that
Yeah,
is that in
that's
Italy or
that's in
Spain?
Italy. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? I would do the running into bulls, but I would have like these sticky bullseyes, and I'd be slapping them on red bullseyes on everybody I passed. I'd be putting it
Oh,
on their
wow.
backs as I ran. You know,
Clever.
I would cheat.
Yeah, you probably use those boots that you lost,
Yeah, they were not running boots, man.
Oh,
No, they were camping boots. Man, they were good. They had like
they were
fuzzy,
unlaced.
like they had like a fuzzy interior. It broke my heart to lose those boots. And I'm hoping like a reindeer walked through there one day and they got stuck on his feet and he kind of,
Yeah,
from then on they called them boots.
that
You
could
know,
happen. Or
they
a
probably
cat,
made like a Hallmark
cat,
movie
Puss in
about
Boots.
the reindeer called
Mhm.
Boots. We only
Yeah,
had 2 boots on his front feet. And by the end
Never
of the
told that
show, he had
story. That's
four.
a great
Somebody
one for
gave him two
Amanda.
more. Yeah,
Amanda could illustrate that.
yeah. She won't
What
though.
about Puss in Boots, Jimmy?
What about it?
Puss in Boots, a little kitty cat.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, he had boots. You could have those boots.
He only had two
Now we're,
boots.
now we're just talking about things with boots.
Yeah.
What about Das Boot?
Das Boot.
He had like
Yeah.
two. He had a submarine on each foot. Like
Yeah.
What if
now you're
Frank,
getting it, Mike. Mike is getting it finally. He's like,
Yeah.
"Das Boot, that's good. That's
Das
really
Boot.
good."
this is 3 topics ago, but what has anyone ever explored what Frank Castle's relationship with animals are? Do you think he has a soft spot for animals where he doesn't for humans?
There's a standards and practices that would not let us go anywhere near that.
And yet we have some ideas.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
think
thinking,
Frank,
that could be the other side of Frank.
I mean, Frank is
he's an
hunted.
animal lover.
I think when Joe Kubert drew it, I think he hunted, to eat. He's a survival, and I think he killed a deer and ate it. I remember that was like I think it was a Joe Kubert drew that story.
Wow.
But I don't think he has like a cat or a dog or a hamster. I don't think he has like or a goldfish or something. I don't
I think
think
he
he's
like
old
whistles
enough.
like Cinderella and the squirrels and birds all
No,
come
no,
and
I don't.
dress him
I
in
don't
his
think.
Kevlar.
I,
What's funny is I have a Cinderella right here.
show us.
I have to take it off the wall, but it's an Ivan Earl, this amazing painter, did all the backgrounds for Cinderella. So I got it for the Ivan Earl background, but it's some kind of rare lithographic print. And the other side is a wall of just Frazetta's artwork. So it's a very interesting. What the hell is that? Evil Betty and Veronica or whatever.
That's an evil Betty.
Yeah.
This is when Barney goes out of town, and with Fred they go to the Buffalo Lodge bowling championship in Utah, and then Betty comes out like this. This is I think Dan Parent did this, and it's pretty good.
I tried to name, this is no joke either, Michael. I
Okay.
tried to name my son one of the name choices, because each parent is allowed to put a name forth. One of the names was Basil, after Basil Fawlty from Fawlty Towers.
Right. I like
And
that.
the other name I came up with was Lucifer. And
Mhm.
neither
How'd
one
that
of those
go
were
over?
chosen. Not good. Not good at all, honestly. So we landed up with Christopher, which is,
Very
solid.
Italian. It's a very
Solid.
Italian name, Christopher.
Yeah, it's named after my wife's father. But I got to give him the middle name.
Which
So
is?
my middle name is Duke. It's Daniel Duke, and his middle name is Colt. So it's Christopher Colt.
Is your middle name really Duke?
Yeah. I should have led with that, Jimmy. I could have been like, Mark Texiera, they call him Tex, and Simon Bisley is the Biz. I should have just been Duke.
You know what my
Yeah.
middle name is?
William.
O'Leary. It's James O'Leary Palmiotti.
That's the most crazy thing I've ever heard. That's the silliest thing. This is a very silly podcast, Michael. That's the most insane thing I've heard the entire
But
time.
it's true.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. Because my so I had 3 brothers before me, and
I don't believe him.
wait, and the doctor was named James O'Leary, and my mother, all she wanted was a girl. She kept having boys, and she told the doctor, "If you give me another boy, I swear to God, I'm naming him after you." And there it is on my birth certificate, James O'Leary Palmiotti. So I have an Irish middle name.
That's great. What a sense of humor your parents had. That
Oh,
explains a lot.
my mom was like, she stuck to it, and my dad was like, "Who cares?"
Wow.
Yeah, James
My
O'Leary.
dad was just a big John Wayne fan. I think that's where mine
Duke.
came.
Yeah, Duke is great middle name. I would like Duke as a middle name. I like that.
I didn't like it when I was a kid because of Marmaduke, and people would call their dog that.
Or
So I
like
thought-
poop. Like another word for poop is like Duke. Like somebody
didn't-
does Duke.
Dookie. No,
Yeah,
what I wanted to be
spelled
called was,
differently, but close.
yeah. I wanted to change my name to Steve. I thought because of Steve Austin, the
Right.
$6 million man.
Yeah, I was thinking about Beauregard at once, but then I was like, nah, it's probably a little too old fashioned.
You'd just be Bo.
Yeah, Bo was
Bo
okay,
Palmiotti.
but there's a chicken place called Bojangles, and they call it Bo now. So I've never heard the end of it. Yeah, I never heard.
Yeah.
They dropped the rest of the letters. I think people couldn't spell Bojangles, and now it's just called Bo.
No,
It's like
Bojangles is
eventually
such
you
a
go in
funny
there
name.
and go,
What do you like
Oh,
better, Bojangles or Popeyes?
so the biscuits are better at Bojangles, but the chicken I think is better at Popeyes.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the fries are pretty good at Popeyes.
Yeah, they like the crunchy fries. They have like
Yeah.
a crunchy fry, and I think so does Bojangles. They're opening a Bojangles down the road, so it's not open yet.
Okay.
Patrick and I will be going to the grand opening. I'm
Grand.
going to cut the giant chicken leg they have to open the door, and
That's great. That's an
yeah,
honor.
yeah.
It's a real honor.
I
This
in
place you've ever done a signing, and I'll go first. There was a chicken place, fast
right.
food chicken restaurant, and I became friends with the management because I was always over there all the time. And I just started working for Marvel, and the manager was like, "We need to have a signing." And so I remember I did a signing at the equivalent of a Bojangles
Oh,
once.
wow.
Yeah.
I did a signing at the Virgin Store in Manhattan on 14th Street with Glenn Danzig.
Well, that's kind of cool. Mine's the opposite of that.
Yeah, it was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I did, although Joe and I we went to Naples, Italy, and it was the grand opening of the shop, and they had the mayor cut the big ribbon
Wow.
around the thing, and then everybody cheered, and then it was downhill from there.
Oh,
Then
well,
it was
that's
us.
so kind of
And then
fun.
they
Yeah,
brought you guys out.
yeah. They
Yeah.
brought us out, and they had the front of the comic shop was like the deck of the Enterprise, but with comics on the walls, and then
Very
you go in
cool.
the back room, and they had a DJ. And Joe and I would sit in the back, and they had a DJ, and they had these girls who wore these black wigs and mini skirts, and they were dancing as the DJ was playing the whole signing.
I mean, I got some free French fries with my weird
Yeah,
signing.
yeah. I didn't get. I think I got some pizza.
No, you got go-go dancers
We did.
and
We did have go-go dances,
mayor.
and we did a special book just for the Italians that signing, so it was kind of fun, you know. It was a guy named Giovanni Tarquini, who was the has set up the tour for us. That name just popped in my head.
Wow,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
It's a memorable name.
All
yeah,
right. Here's what we're gonna say. Since we haven't drawn the fourth issue yet,
yes.
and I don't know the whole linguini. I started thinking about like nunchucks. We got to put nunchucks in the final. One of the bad guys is gonna have nunchucks.
I,
That's
I,
missing from comics.
yeah. You know what? It's the nobody did him like Galassi used to do him. Remember, it was
Yet.
you know.
I'll do them. I'll do them
Yeah,
better.
Paul. Yeah, you're doing better.
We'll see.
Let me see what I can do. I think there's a plane
I mean, I
crash.
could just give one guy nunchucks. Can you do nunchucks?
Yeah, I guess we can like do the title of the story like in nunchuck. Like you can like have the nunchuck make the
What do you think our
lettering.
editor was going to say when we run this by him?
What he usually says, change that.
Not just genius.
Yeah, I don't
I
think we've
don't
What
heard
get
that
about
one yet.
nunchucks
look,
shaped
look,
word balloons?
look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Michael. There's no awards or genius in the future of my writing. Okay. But I write for the people. But
Yeah,
no one I don't get awards, I don't get anything. I they
yeah.
I think they resent that I write sometimes.
He gets a
But
lot of he gets a lot of assignments for
Dan
that very
Dan takes
reason.
a lot of the heat now that he's writing, so they can pick on him for a while.
Let's say we bring this to a close.
Hey
What?
Dan, do you have
What?
any original art you can hold up, like from the Punisher?
No, I don't.
What the hell did you do with it?
I sold it already. You know what? The pages are going for like sick money.
They are.
Like
How much is the cover? Like 10 grand, maybe 20
it's a
grand?
$100,000
Hundred
cover.
thousand dollars. I hate that. I hate
Yeah.
you for that.
Yeah.
Did Jimmy
Yeah.
just have one panel for his scrapbook?
You know what?
I'll
He had to
put him
do
on
a
a panel.
patch. He had to do a patch on something. I'm expecting that as my Christmas gift. That one. It's like a little patch,
Let me
like
see if I have something here. Oh, here.
that. Oh, there you go.
That was a partial craze thing that never got used for Punisher.
That's true.
Yeah. And
I
so
like it.
I redrew that head like about 6 or 7 times for the cover. And then ultimately I was like, nope. And I put you'll see the cover number 3.
Yeah. I only drive Dan crazy maybe once an issue.
Yeah.
Like I'll say something. Hey, can you do that? And it drives him completely insane. But he's very nice. He just sits there and
Then I
goes,
do it.
he goes, sure, he's old. He's gonna die soon. Let me do something nice.
Yeah.
And you know,
Amanda has promised me his ashes. So I'm going to put it next to my dad. And
yeah,
give him
I
some
I
company.
you would not like that. You because
No?
No, because I'd figure out a way to speak, even though I was in Ashland.
I'd love that. I'd
I'd
love that. I'd be
be like,
thrilled. Jimmy,
stop
I don't
doing
know if you can
that.
tell, there's a lot of jibber jabber with Jimmy and I.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I hadn't noticed.
Oh.
yeah. We didn't we propose with the little extras in the comic for like the film with us?
Yeah.
Like we did it. We
Proposed.
proposed like we would talk to the audience every issue. Scan it. But
Mhm.
they didn't go for that either.
No.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Um,
Well, they can watch this video. I think that everybody's learned a lot today. So
watch
Yeah,
this video on repeat several times.
yeah,
I
I
think we
mean,
know, you
Click and
know,
click, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe.
yeah. I unclick and then click. I think that counts.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a journey. I think we're gonna get some subscribes, some unsubscribes, and some subscribes again. So I
Yeah.
think, if we can come out even, we'll
Yeah.
count it
Give
as a
me a
win.
watch. Yeah.
I have this. I have
What do you
this
got there?
sign that it just hangs on my wall.
Blessing in fucking disguise.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
Amanda will grab like I'll be talking on the phone with somebody and something will go wrong or the whole job falls apart, and then she'll go and hold that sign in front of me while I'm talking to the people.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually smart.
yeah. She's
Whose
always like,
handwriting? Is that Amanda's handwriting?
yeah, yeah. And then this is another one. This is another one that it has to be appropriate at it
Mm.
Mhm.
has to be at the right time.
Are you making fun of my middle name again? Is that what you're doing?
What? No, how would I do that?
All right. What else you guys are working on that fans can look forward to?
Almost an
Ooh, another
omnibus.
one.
This just
Almost an
came out.
omnibus.
This was a 9.99. You get 16 issues.
I'm in there.
Yeah, Dan is in here.
Yeah.
It's he doesn't have a shirt on either.
Yeah. But I think
Dan and Dave are in here.
isn't that Punisher special? I mean, not Punisher. Everything's Punisher with me. No,
Okay.
The Harley one shot where you got all the different artists
Here.
working on it.
If you look close, there's a Dan and
It's,
Dave on the top.
yeah, it's supposed to be Dave Johnson and I.
Yeah.
Nice. Got the
Yeah,
beard in there.
Yeah,
but I
Dave's
thought there's
beard.
some isn't that one issue where you got all the different artists to draw one page? Is that
Yeah, it
part of
was
it?
Dan did one in there, right?
Yeah. I did
Let me
kind of
find
a
it.
Mad Magazine sort of Mad Men homage.
This caused Dan, this one page caused Dan a lot of signatures. He had to sign this book a
Right.
lot.
I made a lot of money on that.
And
Um,
you probably sold the page for pretty cheap.
I still have that page somewhere.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I have Darwin gave me his page.
What are you angling?
No, because I asked him to draw 5 or 6 things. He just completely ignored it and drew his own page. And he had a page where Amanda's just punching people.
Oh wow.
And it was originally with the Joker, and Joker had like bacon, like skis, and it was all Canada based, and we were making fun of Canadians. And he just completely ignored it and just drew Amanda and I getting married, and then Amanda punching people with the line, "I'm Amanda Connor, bitches." And
Wow.
yeah, and that was that.
As you do.
Yeah,
Dan followed the script at least.
I did.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to plug?
Don't say it, Dan.
I got a no, I'm not going back into your weird world there. No, I have a Red Sonja like winter special from Dynamite, which is
Oh.
kind of fun. It's one of the best stories I've ever written.
Oh, that's the
And
one shot, right? The big one shot.
shot.
Yeah,
We
man.
have Michael Linsner drawing covers, which is
It's
amazing.
blind bag too. It's blind bag.
Blind bag. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man. Yeah.
that one's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
And then I got, like I said, a new series from Boom coming out. We just finished up the Peter Pan thing I had. So now the final arc of Alice is coming out. And I got another book coming out from Mad Cave that I'm writing. So a lot of
Wow.
things on the horizon. And I got some I'm the new cover artist for Wolverine. So all the new Wolverine covers I'll be doing. And
That's a
then
good gig.
Writing and drawing a Logan story in the future that'll probably come out in sometime in 2026.
Well, that's
Very cool.
a lot of exclusives there that people didn't know about.
I know that's a more for Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnson Paradise.
It's but it's for Michael, not for Bleeding
Yeah, it's
Cool.
for us.
Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, Michael.
Exclusive.
I think I
I'm
have a
kind of
Harley
far-reaching.
Elvira book coming out this month, and that
You
that
have a
did pretty
Kickstarter
well.
going, don't you, Jimmy?
Oh yeah.
No, it ended today. It has like a
And
Oh,
so by the time your lovely audience sees it, it's too late. Too late. But I have I have the Harley, and I have a Blue Falcon #3 maybe coming out, and I don't know. Like Dan and I are having a contest of how many things we can work on at the same time. I literally
exactly.
have 5 books I'm working on now, and I think
Yeah.
Dan has 5.
I have four.
You have
Well,
4?
I have four that I'm writing, and then I'm
Slacker.
doing this Punisher. I'm
Right,
doing covers.
right.
So
Okay, yeah, and you're coloring too, so that counts. Like that's like another that counts like another book.
I'm very busy.
We're both working harder than we ever did and making half the money. It's pretty amazing comics.
what a
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah.
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 And we're back. Hey, man. If you like these guys and you like Punisher, I think you're going to really dig the new book. Dan is going to be at New York Comic Con coming up this weekend. I don't think Jimmy will be, but look for him. He may be. And you should check him out. Definitely get some things signed. Pick up Punisher, Marvel Knights Punisher #1. It's going to be a brutal good time. We know you'll love it. Thanks, Jimmy and Dan, for being on the show. Thanks for being very entertaining and going off on some ramps that I didn't know we were going to talk about. But that'll do it for this episode of the Dollar Bin Bandits. Thank you for viewing, for listening, for rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Doing all that stuff to support us. Go check us out on Patreon. You will have gotten this episode early and uncut. So there's even some more stuff that we talk about that you will not see anywhere else. And that'll do it until Friday. So thanks, Banditos. See you next issue.